When's the last time he was out?
Earlier.
About an hour, 30 minutes.
So an hour and a half?
No, about an hour or 30 minutes.
Oh.
What you're saying, like.
He does that.
Come
That
on.
dog's smart. That dog will act like he's got to go to the bathroom just to get a treat.
No, he's. Come here.
And he'll bug you to death until you get up and go let him out and come get a treat.
What was he throwing a fit for this morning over there on the couch?
I don't know, but
He was
just a
sitting
minute
by
ago he
you.
was.
Well, I was trying to tell Kalli about it, and she was like, what was he throwing a fit for? And I was like, I don't know, but he was whining that same way.
Probably because I didn't give him some I had in my hand.
Probably.
He's like a little kid.
Well, I also always share with him, and this one time I didn't, and I didn't share with him with my crazy brother earlier. And so he was looking at me, he was barking, he goes,
I mean, he has his own food. I don't know what his
He's just.
deal was. All right, we're going to try this fun little
come here, bub.
story game. I will call it. I don't know what we're going to call it.
Hang on, buddy. That's my knee.
Hold up, let me put my legs down.
Jeez.
So we'll start off with Kalli.
Oh, sup?
I'm going to give you two headlines, and think of these as of you would think of a movie, okay? And I may or may not tell you a story about my childhood or my current life. I'm not going to tell you what age I was in any of them until you choose the story, okay?
Okay.
If you
Is this only directed at Kalli?
right now, yes,
Okay.
to keep it fair. If you choose, once you choose one of them, that other one may or may not ever be brought up ever again. So you may never get to hear about it.
Ever in the history of your life?
I don't know.
Or just on the show?
I don't know. I haven't thought of that far yet.
Okay.
I don't think that we're going to get, like, for instance, I'm not going to say choose number one or two, and then you say one, and I say, okay, I'll go ahead and tell you two. I'm not going to do it.
Okay.
You
All right.
you get one or the other, and that's it. Okay?
Okay.
All right, the first one is, excuse me, sir, I can see the top of your car. Okay, that's the first headline. Second is, the night the horse almost got him.
What? Hold up. Because they're both very interesting.
You only get one, and I won't tell you the one off,
There's
other one off
a
camera either.
horse, and then there's a top of your car.
I can see the top of your car, sir. Got him. The horse almost got him.
Are they like both equally good?
I cannot tell
stories?
you one or the other. One may be a dud. One may be, both may be duds, and both may be.
Okay, I'm just gonna go with the car.
Okay. I mean, okay. So when I was about 5 or 6 years old, somewhere around that age, lived in Chicago. On and off, I used to live. I don't know how many years I lived there, but when I was born, I can't go. Sorry. Getting old. So probably up to about 3 or 4, came back, moved back. So a few times, but we would always get to go play and run in the streets. I mean, you could just go like play tag. Like, but you know how you do it in your backyard? We would just do it through the streets of Chicago.
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't know how we didn't come up missing, right? So we were playing one day, and then all of a sudden, when I was running across, I saw my brothers run across the street, and this car came out of nowhere and hit me. And I just remember looking, and as I was going across the top of his car, I saw his hood, the hood of his car, and he just sped right off. I remember going to the hospital, but I don't remember. I don't think I got too hurt. I don't remember getting hurt, but I remember him. I remember it faintly. That I remember him just like sitting there waiting on something, and then when all the kids ran out, he started just going. And when it hit me, I remember just going over top of his car.
He was trying to see how many points he could get.
I know he probably got about 30 points on his bingo card.
And how old were you then?
Hey, he said he's not going to tell you how old he was.
No, I said I'll tell you.
Oh.
I was probably about between 6 and 8, maybe, if I can remember correctly.
7.
I don't know. Just take the average. All right, that's your story.
Okay.
I didn't have to tell that other one about the horse. Whew. All right. I'm not sure, but I think I ate brains. Number 4. Oh, for your number 2. If you won't come out, the fire torch will come in.
Did you say fire torch?
What was the first one?
I'm not sure, but I think I ate brains.
Neither sounds good.
You don't know what door you're going to get behind either door here.
I know.
I mean,
Scared.
both of these are pretty decent.
You can come out or the fire torch is coming in.
If you won't come out, the fire torch will come in.
Okay, let's try that one.
All right, so growing up, I mean, like my older brothers fought all the time. I mean, like they never really fought me, right? But I'm just talking about like they pestered each other so much and would get on each other's nerves, call each other whatever, and you know, they're just like acting like teenage boys do, right? Well, one day the middle brother had made the older brother mad. And so I think he got to the point where he made him so mad that he actually thought he would unalive him and kill him. So I saw the fear in his eye at that time. And at this point, I saw my brother, oldest brother, he's already like locked in on what he's going to do. I saw him running and with like intent in his eyes. I'm thinking somebody's going down at this point. This is when it goes down right here. So I'm like, do I go and hide? Do I just say, hey, you remember I don't ever do anything to y'all? I mean, has he snapped? What happened, you know? So I just go in the bathroom with my middle brother, right? And so my brother comes over, starts hitting the door. He's like, open the door. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is where it ends. And so all of a sudden you hear, I said, what? Underneath the bottom of the door, a big torch had come through. He had for entertainment purposes only, we don't recommend this at all. He had a hairspray thing and a lighter coming up at us like. So he's like, either y'all can open this door or we're going to burn it down. So we opened the door and, you know, they probably tussled a little bit and I got out of there. And so we got out alive that day.
He wasn't afraid to burn down the house?
At that point in time, I don't know. He had it all thought out.
Is that your oldest brother or your
Yes.
middle brother?
The oldest brother tried to get my middle brother. Well, I mean, I'm not going to tell you names, right? These might all not be real stories. I didn't say any of this is real. I'm just telling you stories.
But I feel like I know that story.
All right.
I just got the brothers wrong.
Kalli.
Father.
I found out he was a traitor when I smelt the bologna. Number 6. No thanks. I don't eat bugs.
I think I want to go with the baloney.
The bologna. Okay. I forgot about this story. Like, all my friends in like junior high always knew I didn't eat meat. So they would always like, you know, why don't you eat meat? I was like, man, I just don't eat it. I just didn't like it. I didn't like the texture of whatever. But I didn't have anything against anybody else that ate meat, right? It wasn't like I was saying, well, you know, you eat meat, you're a bad person. I never did that. I just never ate it. I never liked it. I mean, I always knew I was odd because I didn't eat meat, or I was very selective. So this individual, I went and spent the night with him. He was one of my good friends, and he was sneaky. I knew he was sneaky, and I should have knew it in the beginning, right? He would always very like, you know, looking around like this. So went over there and ate. We were sitting down to eat, and they always knew, what do you want to eat? Grilled cheese or cheese sandwich, or chips if you have it. So they put a cheese sandwich, having cheese and mayonnaise and chips. And so I take a bite of the cheese sandwich, and right as I bite into it, my nose smells bologna, like right there in the middle of the sandwich. So before I bite deeper into it, I remove it from my mouth, and I peel it open, and a piece of bologna about this big was stuck in the middle of my sandwich.
They were so mean.
They were trying to sabotage me, but I got them. See, whenever you don't eat it so long, you can smell it. I mean, you know.
But I feel like you can smell bologna anyway.
And so at that moment, I knew my friend was a traitor. I couldn't trust him. All right.
That makes more sense now with the title.
Yeah, you see how we're doing this?
Where did Waylon go? He's probably by the door.
Oh my goodness. I don't know if I can give you these. I might have to skip you on those. Okay, it's your turn, right, Stephanie?
I think so.
The 3 best friends, and one of them was John. The night I thought I got arrested.
The night I thought I got arrested.
Oh, I can't believe I gave you that one. All right, well.
Do I know this story?
I don't know. I told you might not know some of these stories.
Okay.
You probably don't. All right. So
Are you saying you had a life before you met me?
Yeah, I probably did.
You probably did?
Probably, now that I think of it.
It had about 20-something
So
years.
I'm in high school. I don't do anything bad. Everybody does stuff, but like I wasn't into bad stuff. Me and my friends, we played ball together. We had another friend that didn't play baseball, but he played basketball, so we hung out together. So one weekend, we had got done with a game or something, and we decided to go back over to his uncle's house, okay? His uncle's house, his uncle just happened to be a police officer as well, okay? So we're sitting in his uncle's house. We got in. We didn't break in. We're sitting there. He had a key and all this. So we're up there, and all of a sudden we hear Ardmore Police Department open up. Thinking, what? So turns out his uncle is out of town, right? But he knows his cousin, and he goes there. No, wasn't doing anything, right? Just sitting there, watching TV after a ball game and all that. But since they couldn't get a hold of they knew the cop lived there, and they didn't know they couldn't verify that was his nephew. And so they're like, y'all not under arrest, but we have to take y'all to the police station just until we can verify that y'all know who lives here because he's a cop. And we're thinking, oh my God. And I looked at the guy and said, is this going to be on my record? I'm like, my whole life's ruined. Like, I can't. I was like, what is going on? Well, just because we're at this dude's house, we got the key and everything. He's like, look, I know. He's like, y'all are not in trouble. Your parents come get you, and like, and we'll call this person. And I'll be like, oh my gosh, what do I do? I was like, all right, well, whatever it is, it is, So I go up there and we're just sitting we don't get booked. We don't do anything with the fingerprints. We just sit on like a church pew right inside the, almost like in the waiting area, right? Mm-hmm. And so we have to call, and I was like, Mom, Dad, I said, you're going to go get me for the police station. They said, you're lying. Because they knew I never did anything.
I know, I was just thinking, I can't imagine
so
what your mama would say.
And I knew I was going to have fun with it. I said, yeah, but I was nervous too, right? I was like, oh my gosh. So they were like, I said, no, I'm serious. I said, we were at my friend's house. I said, and they couldn't verify it, and they knew who it was. And they said, oh, okay. So they came, and I was like, oh my gosh. Just it's weird how different that could have been, right? And just being wrong place at the wrong time, and they knew us, but you couldn't verify it, so
right.
you have to go. I'm like, oh my gosh,
that's crazy. Oh my goodness.
No record here, unfortunately. Ever.
Unfortunately,
yeah.
I'm talking about. Yeah, it's fortunately. Sorry,
yeah,
that's the right words. All right, we got time for one or two more. Who started it?
You did.
All right, Kalli, you'll do one. Now y'all can add anything you want to in here.
I don't got any life stories yet.
I'm all right. I don't know how to choose top sentences to go with it just yet.
All right, Kalli. I really didn't mean to break his nose. And I used to risk my life for sweetest fish.
That one.
I'm glad you picked that one. She loves this story. She loves it. She's never heard it. This is fresh to her.
How does she love it?
So, back in the days...
Back on Plana Street.
Oh,
Sorry.
my gosh.
My bad. You'll get there.
Does she know the story?
No. Look, see?
I'm so confused.
I may or may not have told it to her before. So, once again, when we were living in Chicago at this time, during one of our transitions, this was a time when it was older. It was after I'd been hit by the car. Okay. So I'd recovered fully. I'd, went through, no injuries, gratefully. So we had moved back to Alabama, but after I got hit by a car in the time, and then my granddad got sick again, and we moved back to Chicago to help out there. So this was, we were staying with my grandmother to help out my grandfather, and she would say, and my grandfather would say, if you go to the store and get a Pepsi and a loaf of bread for $3.25 or something, you can have the change that's left over, and they would give you a $20 bill. Now I'm thinking, about 9 years old, I'm thinking, I can't do math, but that's about $16.75.
That's a lot of money back
I can't, I'm thinking $16.75, man. And I'd been in that store once before, and I knew that, man, they had the best Swedish fish I've ever had. They were the original. They had different colors, and I was like, man, I love those Swedish fish. And so, in order to get to the store, you would have to come out of the house, turn right, go down to the stop sign, right? Turn left, go up 2 blocks in Chicago, right? You'd pass a big Catholic church on the right, and there'd be a little store. Look, Kalli, it's this big.
In the other direction was Burr Elementary.
Right. If you get to the stop sign and you turn to the right, that's Burr Elementary. That's where I went to school. That's where I walked to school both ways in the snow. But go to the left, you're at the corner store. Why is it called a corner store?
It's on the corner?
It's on the corner. All right. It's like almost at the third corner right there. Now, look, a lot of stuff happening between the apartment, our house, and getting to the corner store. Are y'all good?
Yeah.
I was trying to see what the thing said.
Me too. It like something flashed.
Oh, okay.
Every once in a while, it like flickers and flashes.
No, I was trying to see what the comment said.
It's all right. So, going to the corner store. You're thinking about Chicago, Illinois. You're walking down the middle of the street, and I'm 9 years old. And all thing I got in my mind is I get these Swedish fish. So I go in there one time, and this guy, he knew I loved these Swedish fish. And I think his Swedish fish was just a front. Like, he wasn't making any money off those Swedish fish, right? Because he gave me one time 5 for a penny. And I knew I had $16.75. I said, give me all those Swedish fish. I probably had 200 Swedish fish, 200 to 300. I never count them. And I don't even know if I spent $1 or $2. That dude, I said, there's no way he would be making money off those Swedish fish. But now looking back on how dangerous Chicago is and was, and you don't really know about it, I think that I really did risk my life going to there by myself for those Swedish fish.
And you were how old?
9 years old.
9 years old. Yeah. Our kids don't even walk down the street. But not because we won't let them. They just don't want to.
Because you get picked up, taken away.
Are y'all want to let this be the last one?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. I almost got beat down by a gang. The day I almost fell in the ocean while parasailing. What are you laughing about?
Parasailing one. That one's funny.
No, the other one, listen, the other one with the gang, just for context, it was when I was very young and these little kids that just thought they'd get together in Chicago and roam the back streets. They really wasn't a big gang. They were a little kid gang. I didn't want them to think I was in a gang. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. All right. That was a kid joke. A kid story, not a joke. All right, so we're going to go with the parasailing, right?
Yes.
All right, so you and I went to Panama City Beach, and
one of our only kid-free trips at that
one
time.
of our first kid-free trips at the time. So we're like, we're going to do some fun stuff. It's been a while. And so we decide to go parasailing. I'd only been maybe one time before, so I can't remember. And you'd never been. And I was like, all right, we'll do it. And I was like, why not? So we get out there on the boat. You have to do a banana ride, boat ride or something to get out there first. If you survive that, then you get on the other boat that has the parachute that shoots you in the air, right?
Mm-hmm. Like a jet ski pulls the banana.
So there was another couple that was on there as well.
I think so, yeah.
So they went first. I can't remember what it was, but anyway, by the time it got to us, you have to sit down in that little harness, right? And there's two of you.
Like when you're going to go rock climbing, those harnesses.
So you get harnessed up, okay? So you get in there real good, he's checking your straps and everything. And so about the time they start to go, I realized that mine really ain't in good. And like it's slipping a little bit, like when it's supposed to hold under my leg right up here, right? So as we start to get higher, it starts to creep up a little more, okay? And by the time we get fully extended, I mean, I'm in a bind. And I don't know if I'm about to come out of the parachute, the parasail. I don't know if I'm about to.
Lose his pants.
Pants was the least of my worries at that point. If that rope had come over one more that way, we'd be having a different conversation because, and now I'm thinking, we just now got up here and we're going to be up here for another 15 minutes, right? And so I don't know what it feels like. It's probably only like 2 minutes. So I'm thinking, in my mind, I'm thinking, we still haven't done the dip yet. It's going to get me when we dip.
And they do too.
And I'm thinking, I'm already up here like this because I don't want to be, not voluntarily castrated or anything like that. But so as we're going, I know the dip's coming. And I'm like, we ain't going to make it. We didn't see sharks, do we? No.
We didn't see sharks, but at the point where they were taking us down to the dip, that was when like the big waves started coming.
Yeah. So we start going down, and they're trying to judge it based off the water then. Mm-hmm. And the big waves started coming, and they take us almost all the way under.
We did, yeah. It went over my head. Like
yeah, and
underwater.
Then they have to try to get you back in the air a little bit because they still got another dip, right? You got to get 2 dips or you get your money back. It don't matter if on the first dip you don't make it. They may stop if you don't make it on the first dip, but by the time we got back in the air, I mean, I was ready for it to go ahead and pull me in. But
me too.
I mean,
that was crazy.
That was the day that I thought that, dumped in the ocean while we was parasailing.
Mm-hmm. See? We were going to die too.
I mean, it's weird how you can title those specific. It's like a little trailer of your life that you go back and you try to remember the funniest moments that you had and try to like put a little title to it. That's kind of what I did, So
that's cool.
Like, you'll never hear about those other ones. You knew about maybe 1 or 2 of them, but I didn't have to explain a few of them. You good over there, Kalli?
Texting Jaden.
Okay.
He just got home.
I know.
Oh.
All right, y'all got
take my shower.
anything y'all want to talk about? No words of wisdom?
No, I talked to him earlier today.
Snuck it in on the pizza?
Drove pizza vlog?
You can call it that.
Hey, buddy.
Did you fall asleep over by the door, bub? Oh. Him just a baby.
He's like, I'm ready for bed, guys.
He keeps sniffing the lamp thing.
I know.
They can't figure out what it is.
Oh.
Keeps wondering why he's blending in with that carpet.
He needs a spray.
Yeah. Hey, you just ran into my foot, bud.
Come here.
All right, we'll get off here so we can give this little baby some attention.
Oh.
Him don't get enough of it.
Give me my kid back.
All right, you can take him. You can take him. You can take him, boy.
What's wrong? You look so pretty.